Provocative remarks from Mayor Adams. He said at a town hall, the migrant crisis would, quote, destroy New York City. It comes as he is Governor Hochul pleading for more help from Washington. Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore with more on the fallout.
The mayor says thousands of asylum seekers continue to show up to the Roosevelt Hotel each month with little support from the federal government. The mayor says the city has reached a breaking point.
This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
Mayor Eric Adams not mincing any words this week, expressing concern over the influx of migrants to New York City and the strain it's causing on resources.
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this.
Republicans say the mayor is right. Congressman Nick LaLota tweeting in part, the first step towards solving a problem is admitting you have one. Credit to Mayor Adams for being truthful. Meanwhile, the Legal Aid Society called the mayor's comments reckless. The city has provided shelter to more than 101,000 asylum seekers since last year. Of that number, roughly 59,000 are in the city's care right now. The mayor has pleaded with the federal government for help. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre responded Thursday, saying the Biden administration has been working with city and state leaders and has provided $140 million this year. Meanwhile, Governor Kathy Hochul had another conversation with the White House.
I believe the answer comes from Washington in the form of work authorization. I will say I'm exploring all of our options at the state level.
And Governor Kathy Hochul says she's not ruling out the idea of having a special legislative session to address the migrant surge.
Speakers in Princeton are calling for investigations and reform after a senior home abruptly closed with less than a day's notice. 72 senior citizens were moved out, told to move out, as many of their families now have to find someplace else for their relatives to live. CBS 2's investigative reporter Tim McNicholas joining us now to tell us what happened.
Dana, residents got notice last Friday that the Princeton Care Center was closing. Families say their loved ones had to leave that same day.
There's Chuanpit Padanasan, a 74-year-old with dementia who is confused by the new home she just moved into. 79-year-old Florence Edwards, who is still trying to figure out where to stay long-term. And 72-year-old Nora Mickelson, who was diagnosed with lung cancer earlier this summer and wants to stay close to her nearby doctors.
My mother gave me a call, and she was sobbing. She said that she needed to be out of the facility, that they were closing down.
That call was last Friday when the staff at the Princeton Care Center told 72 residents they'd have to relocate due to unfortunate financial hardship. Today, men loaded medical supplies into a U-Haul outside the nearly empty facility. But last week,
I can't say what I really think it was, but it was a word and then the word show.
Mayor Mark Frieda describes a much more chaotic scene as seniors moved out and tried to figure out where to stay.
Deadly accident involving an MTA Access-a-Ride van in Chinatown. An 88-year-old woman was hit while in the crosswalk. And now the driver of the van is in custody. Eyewitness News reporter Johnny Fernandez is live with more. Johnny?
Yeah, Sade, we just received the name of that driver, 43-year-old Michael Broughton, and he's being charged with failure to yield and to exercise due care. Now, police, they just opened up Allen Street. That is where everything took place. Within the last hour, they opened it up, and it caused massive backups in this area. Now, this is video from the scene when police started their investigation. The NYPD says that this all took place just before 11 o'clock this morning. They say that the driver was making a right turn on Canal Street, and the woman, this 88-year-old woman, was crossing Allen Street when she was hit by this van. The driver did stay on scene. The NYC Transit president spoke out about this fatal incident and how a busy street could have played a key role in what happened.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of distractions on our roads here. Potentially a vehicle in the other crosswalk that may have been something in the way for both the pedestrian and the driver. We don't know, but as I mentioned, we'll continue to fully cooperate with this investigation and make sure hopefully this never happens again.
Right now at 10, kidnapped, drugged, and raped. That is what one woman says a local man did to her for days.
She alleges she was sexually assaulted after you gave her pills.
And that is where we begin tonight. That man behind bars now. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Daniela Guzman.
And I'm Keith Garvin. People who live in the complex where this all allegedly happened are speaking only to our Devin Clark. He joins us live from downtown Houston with more details on this disturbing case. Devin.
Keith, Daniela, the allegations listed in this charging document were highlighted here in court on Sunday, with even more details being revealed. They were enough to make the charges against the suspect stick.
Mr. Belton, please stand up.
On September 3rd, 36-year-old Donovan Eugene Belton appeared in court where probable cause was found in the cases against him.
Sir, you have 2 felony cases pending before the court. Aggravated kidnapping, which is a first-degree felony, and sexual assault, which is a second-degree felony.
The allegations stem from August 27th when officials say a woman told them that Belton began abusing her at the Avalon at Gulfgate apartment complex on South Loop East.
And every day she alleges she was sexually assaulted after you gave her pills that made her fall asleep.
Belton is also accused of pimping the woman out during that time.
It's also alleged you had 2 friends come to the house who she saw paid you money to sexually assault her.
During his court appearance Sunday, Belton's court-appointed attorney spoke on his behalf.
My understanding is that she was here visiting from someplace else and was staying temporarily with Mr. Belton.
Tonight, people who live in the Avalon at Gulfgate finding the news shocking and disturbing.
It's messed up 'cause I got nieces, young and up in age, you know. But no, I hadn't heard nothing about that, you know.
Abuse victims advocates suggest that when you're going on a date that you share your location with someone you trust and even schedule check-ins. This way, you're accounted for. As for Belton, we understand that he has a combined bond for both of those charges set at $100,000, which, if posted, he's ordered to stay away from the victim and her family.
A series of stabbings across New York City.
In a span of just about 3 hours, 5 people were wounded in 3 separate stabbings. And CBS 2's Christina Fan is live at the scene of one of those attacks in Manhattan's Chinatown. Christina?
Doug and Natalie, good morning. Police don't know what motivated this attack in Chinatown. They say the victim was walking near this intersection when someone suddenly lunged at him with a sharp object. Not far from this Chinatown night market, drawing large crowds of people, a 33-year-old was attacked unprovoked. Police say the victim was walking near the corner of Canal and Christie Street around 9:30 p.m. when someone approached and stabbed him in the neck. The bloody encounter frightening event-goers nearby.
This is my local neighborhood, and recently there's been an uprising in crime, so it's just sad to see.
In the East Village, officers thoroughly canvassed Tompkins Square Park after another attack near a crowded intersection. Police say a 39-year-old man was sitting on a park bench when a suspect walked up from behind and stabbed him in the torso multiple times around 11:30.
It's every day out here, though. I mean, kind of got to keep your wits about you.
Police are also investigating a stabbing inside a Hamilton Heights restaurant on Broadway. Officers say a man started acting aggressively to a female bartender around 8:15 last night when a couple of bar patrons came to her defense. An argument broke out and the suspects slashed 3 of them, a 29-year-old, a 41-year-old, and 70-year-old, possibly with a broken beer bottle, before running away. And so far, no arrests have been made in any of these cases. All the victims are in stable condition and expected to recover.
A rescue high above the East River. A man in distress is pulled to safety by New York City police. Fox 5's Teresa Priolo joins us live in studio with what those heroic officers are saying tonight. Teresa.
Yes, Steve, they are as humble as it comes. One officer told us he's actually afraid of heights, and yet he knows it is his job to climb over that railing if it means saving a life.
A moment's hesitation, and this could have had a much different ending. A man perched on the outer rail of the Manhattan Bridge, 135 feet above water, threatening to jump.
There was a man on the outside of the pedestrian walkway standing on one of the pieces of metal and hanging onto the fence.
Sergeant Matt Tocco of the NYPD Special Operations Unit was one of the first on scene. A bystander called 911 and emergency services arrived. They began asking the man some basic questions, attempting to get him to calm down and reconsider his next steps.
Answers to the questions we were getting weren't where we wanted them to be, and his actions, he started to lay out some of his stuff from his pockets, his wallet, his phone, which is usually an indicator that this is going to happen. And, you know, you could see Detective McGee wasn't happy with how it was going. So when he reached through with his cell phone and placed it down, he was able to grab him, at which point I was able to run up and grab his other arm.
In the span of a few seconds, these cops went from negotiating with a man who appeared to want to end his life to saving him and giving him the chance to sort through his issues. For them, they say, it is all in a day's work.
You're never really going to know the person, and it doesn't matter. You just want to get them off, off the bridge, off the building. They're obviously having a culmination of their worst days or worst hours, and you feel for them, but you also have to put that out of your head and just do your job.
Police want help identifying this man, accused of putting an Uber driver in a chokehold and then running off with his car keys. The victim's a 54-year-old who says he was driving the man to Brownsville when he noticed the guy touching himself. The driver says he asked the man to get out, at which point he was attacked. That incident happened about 3 weeks ago. Major new developments in the search for a killer who escaped from prison in Pennsylvania. Police say Danilo Cavalcante fled the area they've been searching for the last week and a half in a stolen van and has changed his appearance. He was last spotted outside the homes of two former co-workers last night, clean-shaven and wearing a green hooded sweatshirt. Police believe he was driving a van stolen from a dairy, but abandoned it after it ran out of gas. The van was found this morning in Chester County, about 40 miles northwest of Philadelphia, which is the new focus of the search.
We found the vehicle. We found where he abandoned it fairly quickly. I am confident that we will continue aggressively proceeding on this search and this investigation, and we will eventually capture him.
Police are concerned Cavalcante may try to steal another vehicle, so they want people in the new search area to secure their cars and property.
In the Bronx, security camera footage shows officers racing into a 7-Eleven last night as an armed robbery turned into a deadly police shooting. It all happened right around the corner from a police station. Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller live at the scene in the Throgs Neck section with the latest. Derek, good morning to you.
Michelle, good morning. We are standing here at East Tremont Avenue and Berkeley Avenue, and Barclay, I should say. And you mentioned that police were able to get here so quickly, and this is why. Take a look over here. You see that green light? That is the 45th Police Precinct, and it is located right around the corner from this 7-Eleven where the cashier was being held at knife point. The situation ending with the suspect dead. Now, we have another look now at that grainy surveillance video Eyewitness News obtained showing officers entering the store just after 2 in the afternoon on Saturday. Police shot and killed the 22-year-old man they say entered the store and was threatening a female employee with a knife, refusing to leave. All this happening just steps from the precinct. Police say the suspect ignored the cops' repeated commands to drop the knife and take his hands out of his sweatshirt. An officer fired a single round, killing the man. All of this happening in front of horrified witnesses.
I just thought there was some confrontation. I got my slushie, I walked out, and that was it. The next thing I know, I'm coming up Tremont. They said somebody just got shot.
I work here. I just came back from vacation. I wanted to throw up.
Right now, you're looking at a photo of the large kitchen knife police say they recovered from the scene. The knife, they say, that was used to hold that employee hostage. This morning, there's still some details we do not know about the suspect, including his name and whether he has a criminal history. Of course, there's going to be an investigation into this case.
Driver of an MTA Access-a-Ride van that struck and killed an elderly woman in Chinatown has been charged.
This morning, a stabbing in Tompkins Square Park late last night sent one man to the hospital. People were out enjoying a Friday night in the East Village. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis is live there this morning as the investigation continues. Good morning, Marcus.
Good morning, Michelle. No doubt a busy spot here on the southwestern end of Tompkins Square Park, Avenue A, East 7th Street. This happening around 11:25 last night. Police say the victim was sitting on a bench here near the entrance of the park when the assailant came up upon him and stabbed him multiple times in the torso.
From being very giddy or being in engineering mode, where you'll go from being very giddy or being in engineering mode, where you can figure out the valve of a Raptor engine, and suddenly the clouds come. And the amazing thing is, after he's gone dark and been demon-like and really tough on people, he'll snap out of it. And then I'll ask him, what was that all about? And he hardly remembers it. So when you ask about what's it like dealing with Elon Musk, I say, there are many Elon Musks in this book.